Okay, I'll go ahead and finish up this last part of this module here, talking about setup control. To set up cutting and holding tools, machinists must have a clear idea of how to drive the machine without a program. Manual movement can occur in 4 ways. So you can have the button dial movement options, and so manual pulse generators or hand dial. You can have an incremental jog button or continuous jog buttons. So here we have a hand dial for axis movement being shown there. You can have the jog buttons for small and continuous movements. We use jog buttons on many controls. And so we're seeing some examples of the jog type of ways that you can be moving things around here. You can have manual data input movement. The fourth method of moving the machine is by a mini program you write at the time as needed. You may need to be in edit mode or some control, use MDI mode to access this function. It can be used to test tools, sequence loads, and many other setup functions too. Most program commands can be executed without a program. Mostly, the authors of the textbook said, mostly I use MDI to move the spindle and indicator as an exact amount. So here's an example. You need to position the VMC spindle exactly 0.0174 inch from the present location in the negative X direction. From the keypad, enter G91, G0, X minus 0.0175. And so now we're getting into the kind of syntax you'll be using for the programming. And so it's useful for you to be mindful of the things that we're laying out here. So first you have the incremental values to cause only the jump. It's in the green. The go to cause it to go in a rapid rate. And finally, the distance and direction to go. So we'll study the codes later, but now remember that you can mini program the machine to move as well as use the jog buttons and hand dials. Very handy for exact movements. And so depending on the text editor that would be part of the machine, the control, this command line may also require an end of block code, often a colon or semicolon. Some only require the enter button to signify that the line is complete. And then for tracking the movement, now before touching the green cycle start button to cause the MDI movement, turn the rapid down to 0, just in case you actually wrote 117.4 inches. Don't laugh, we've done it. And so just be careful and switch to the DTG screen, then turn up the rate just a bit and then touch the green button. So remember all CNC controls: 1, receive, store, and operate programs. 2, manual allow movement of access and other functions for setup and tooling purposes. 3, display modes, positions, and other needed data. 4, enter data from an alphanumeric input device to edit and write programs. And 5, enter setup data such as cutter diameter. Okay, and then just to finish up here, so every controller is slightly different. Every control, even controls from the same manufacturers, but of different revision levels, can perform differently. There's no harm in asking for some coaching when facing a new one, but if you understand the 5 categories of what they do and the various position screens, you'll be able to be, quote, playing them like a piano. So thank you very much. And that ends it for this module.